We have ourselves an NHL trade going down between the Detroit Red Wings and the New York Rangers. The Red Wings have acquired Marc Staal, as well as a second-round pick in the 2021 NHL Draft from the New York Rangers in exchange for, get this, future considerations. So at the moment, it's technically just Staal and a second to Detroit for what is essentially today nothing. But we will get an eventual return given out sometime down the line. However, I will note that future considerations usually just doesn't really amount to anything. Like, we've seen a few future considerations trades happen in the past, but for the most part, it's not really anything super significant that ever goes back the other way. But of course, that is still the discourse that we have here. It is Staal and a second for future considerations. This is a trade that honestly makes sense from both sides. First off, Marc Staal, he is a New York vet. This guy has been on this team for decades. He's 33 years old, making $5.7 million. And he's a guy who definitely is not as good as he once was, let's say, 9-8 years ago. Staal's a guy who is making $5.3 million, so for the New York Rangers, a team that technically only had $14 million in cap space before, they now have themselves a boatload more. That's going to be useful when re-signing guys like Ryan Strome and Anthony DeAngelo, all these guys, not to mention the Alexander Georgiev, who they still have in their system as well. Piled up with a potential Henrik Lundqvist buyout, and this could be a very, very good offseason for the New York Rangers if they're able to acquire themselves a big free agent with the money that they end up getting freed. As for the Red Wings, they're a team that had $33 million in cap space before this trade, so getting a guy like Marc Staal, who is at 5-point-something mil, isn't the end of the world. He's on a no-move clause for one more season, and that's 2020-2021, and then after that he will be a free agent to just go ahead and do whatever. Whether he resigns in Detroit or whatever, we will see. But Marc Staal is known by many as a pretty stay-at-home-like defender. A guy who can push opponents off the puck and actually do things in his own zone. He was never really touted as a number one point producer, and his point totals reflect that, but it's been a few long years here for Staal with the Rangers. He's been playing on this team since 2007-2008, so you can definitely see why a lot of Rangers fans, although they are okay with parting with him, they're at the same time paying their tributes and mentioning their thanks because, hey, Marc Staal has been with this Rangers team through thick and thin. He's going over to Detroit and he'll have a brand new NHL home for the first time in his career. As for the draft pick, hey, in the 2021 draft, the Red Wings already had, before this trade, mind you, 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. They had their own first, second, and third, not to mention the Edmonton Oilers second-round pick that was from the Athanasiou trade, and the Vegas third-round pick that was from that Thomas Tatar trade. So that was a long time ago, but it's still there. Now they have themselves 3 second-round picks in 2021, just like how they have 3 second-round picks in 2020. So for the Red Wings, they're stockpiling. It's awesome to see them building up their prospect pool for the future. So even though it is future considerations, that still is indeed something we'll have to take a look at in the future. But for now, it is Staal and a second to Detroit for pretty much nothing. So we'll follow up with this later. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.